everybody. This is how I'm feeling about the pandemic. Alright, when was this video made? Okay, I think this is like the end of the first week of April. And I'm already over it. Okay, so in today's little session here, we're working on the G3X trays, and we'll be working on these probably for the next, I think there's 2 more videos of these, and you'll see these next Wednesday. But you're going to see the first one now. So we've gone over this before. I've talked about this. I'm creating trays to put behind the main panels that will surround the G3X displays, and I'll be using those to house some of the background avionics boxes that people don't see. So here's a really good point of view, right? So there's a display in, and then you can see the little box that I've made to go around it, right? With that shelf and walls in place, I'm free to mount little, ancillary pieces that you kind of need here and there. The idea being that I would rather put these trays in and drill holes into those to mount various avionics pieces all over the place, as opposed to drilling directly into, say, the sub panel or the firewall or some other permanent piece of the structure. Right. 2, it also allows me to, at will, remove the trays and all the avionics all at once, right? So there is a little bit of responsibility when you take on this, because you need to make sure that your wiring is just flexible enough that you're able to move it as required to get it disconnected and then take it out, right? So if you make your wiring really tight, right, nothing wrong with that, but you generally do that when you've got it mounted to a permanent location like this, like I said, like the sub panel or interior, right? In this case, it's on technically a moving box, so I'm going to have a little bit of slack. When I say a little, I mean very little, and then I'll be able to remove all the boxes all at once. Ta-da! All right, so we'd gotten that one done for the first one. We'd already sort of got the Mach 1 working that we've been using for a while. And that's all well and good, but I thought, you know what, it's time to actually get the other one done. So that's what we're kind of starting now. It's not really too difficult. I mean, other than the panel piece, basically, I'm using 2 7.5-inch square pieces of aluminum. Those are the walls. And then the center piece, I believe, is 9 inches? No, not 9, maybe 8.5. The idea being to make this replicatable for anyone else that would like to use it. Now, as I said before, the hard part is that, this thing has to be secured. So there's a small flange that basically goes up right next to where the G3X displays are, and there's holes drilled in that. There will be countersunk holes drilled into the front of the panel, and then these trays are screwed in place, but these screws are then hidden because as you put the display in, it's got a bevel around the edge that covers up the screws. And here I am making the various bins. So outside of the bins, okay, so there's a second development with this that I don't think I talked about. One of the problems with doing this mount is that the G3X displays, right, have 4 number 6 screws that it uses on the corners. So as you see me bending these brackets, you can kind of see that they're not perfectly square. What I've had to do is make sure that these tray brackets work great, but they can't be so long that they cover up the screw area in the 4 corners of the display. Right? So here's the right side ones. Okay? So the idea is that as you put them in, you'll still be able to have nut plates, right, on the 4 corners to screw the G3X in. Now, normally the G3X has its own mounting ring. It's actually a piece of metal That's about, I don't know, about quarter-inch wide, and it's, flat, and it's got the 4 nut plates on it already, and you use that to mount the G3X, which is fine, but it doesn't really work in this situation because the brackets get in the way. So instead, we're just going to mark the holes and use nut plates ourselves. So, all right, in the next video, we're going to be getting into we're going to jump over to a little bit of wiring, and we will be picking up these trays later. So thanks for joining me. See you soon.